Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful day. Though today we actually have no power, we were shifting through whatever it is that we could get. And fortunately, there was some gas in the genset. The sun hasn't come, so the inverter is not up yet. But here we are. Every day we have promised that we have to be here, come rain, come sunshine. So we are here this morning on the Free Mentorship Academy session. Those ones joining us for the very first time, I'm Dr. Sylvia B. Mwansa, or simply Sunshine. And our focus for today is the family and home spoke of the will of life. This is the foundation that many of us were taught to depend on, but one that today is clearly under pressure. We are so much under pressure with the family and home spoke of the will of life. Just you can switch off the mic until you are speaking. Just the mic. You can mute your mic so that we don't get the background noise. So recently, I lost my elder brother. Those ones who are close with me would know that. His passing was sudden, no sickness, no warning. But it was through this tragedy that I became aware of a deeper pain within our families. A deeper pain within our families. We sat there for 4 days, 5 days, just talking about what is happening around our families. And it was incredibly sad that the noise that is around, the family and home, which people don't seem to be talking about, but at the end of the day, they are all sitting back and really are stressed with what is going on in the families. So this session is inspired by the reality I witnessed. Real family breaking silently under the weight of addiction, confusion, helplessness, alcohol abuse, and so many other things. So to discuss this emotional topic, I'm joined with someone we have connected with as we've been marketing and engaging with Mindset Change Process, who was at the launch of the Mindset Change Process, who understands what we're trying to do, and who also has got the interest in making sure that we do not sink. And these are some of the things that for me, and it was just like telepathy, when he was asking me, I need someone who can speak about this silent challenge in families. And I said, oh, that is the topic for today, so you better as well join so that we can be able to see how we can move from, thinking to actioning, this challenge that is there. And to set the scene, I just want to let you know that the family is the first institution we experience. It's where we are named, known, and nurtured. Yet many homes today are no longer places of peace. They are war zones in some way or the other. And this is just so real. And if you can be able to relate with this, just comment in the chat box, comment, and we will be able to actually share this with you and see if there will be one, 2, 3, 4 people who would like to join this and fill this gap so that we can go somewhere. So, so at the funeral, I spoke with several parents. I heard their pain. Children lost to drugs, others drown in alcohol. Families are exhausted. Parents are desperate. And the question that stayed with me is, where do parents go when they have done all they know and it's still not enough? Where can parents go so that they can be able to get help? And it is just something that a lot of parents, they would have taken their children to the hospital, they would have taken to the rehabilitation, they have put alerts everywhere, and they're just there, not knowing what to do next. Thank you, Cecilia. Thank you, Mwanza, for joining us. Yes, so this is what it is. Thank you, Chronicles of Sickle Cell. I'm so proud that you are actually here and you're watching. So there are so many things that we need to do, understanding the crisis. Let's speak the truth. Our alcohol and drug abuse is now woven into the social fabric of our communities, especially among the youth. Our children are self-medicating, pain, trauma, loneliness, and pressure. So at this point, I'd just like to turn to our guest psychologist, Darlington. And I just want you to just have this open. You've seen these things happening. You've known what it is that we need to do. But before you do that, I would just like you to introduce yourself and just do the things that you need to do. But the questions that I came up with, what are the most common psychological causes behind alcohol and drug abuse among youth today? What are some of the early warning signs that a child or teen may be using, drugs or alcohol? How does trauma within the home influence a child's, tendency to seek or escape through substances? So take your time, introduce yourself. You've got um, 10 minutes in the first session, and then when you come back, you have another three questions that you can be able to deal with. So over to you, Darlington.
Thank you very much, Doc, and the SBM, family for this very important, discussion. I am Darlington Mwendawai, a psychologist as well as a journalist and a communication, development, strategist. Um, I've been a journalist for this year will be 21 years and a psychologist 8 years, specialized in critical thinking, doing what Dr. Sunshine is doing, but looking at it from the critical thinking point of view, where we focus on the solutions. So look at others identifying these problems. Ours is to try to look to ensure that you do not deny the aspect of living a blissful life, and that's why our mantra is think, think not, where we believe that if you're going to think with all this counsel that are giving, then you'll find solutions and you'll be very happy. And failure to do so, it will lead you to start sinking emotionally, socially, mentally, and even psychologically, as well as also spiritually, because you feel that your solutions are limited. And such a space and a platform like this one helps us again to bring together different types of perspective. And what we have discovered so far in our interaction with families that are battling with children and even adults themselves who are abusing drugs, who are abusing also alcohol, is that the source of this problem is the family. And so by the time that we are talking about that the person is depressed, so I have discovered that that is actually somebody is battling his last, fight that he or she is battling, because those are now the physical symptoms that we can see, all of us, that this person is withdrawn. If this person was very active, you are going to see that the person is going to love isolation, and in that isolation they do a lot of many also other things, because they need to entertain themselves. And this is where also, in addition to the issues of alcohol and drug, there are also silent vices that also this person is going to start inculcating. That may not be the topic for today, but there are some of those things that you're going to see that this person, they'll start getting into masturbation, they'll start getting into all these other vices, because they would want really to entertain themselves, or to run away from what a family challenge that could be. And so how do we get to that point where we see that the family that's supposed to be the fiber, or the backbone of moral values, get disintegrated? Now, there are some of the indicators that are coming, that families that are dysfunctional. A dysfunctional family can be said to be a family where The first part is where both parents are around, but they are absent in terms of providing basic needs to this same family that they have decided to have. These are parents who are never, present, both poor and rich. You could be a parent who is very affluent, family, but however, you are too busy from one meeting to the other, to such an extent that you do not know what's happening to your children. You are detached. Yourself, you think that by providing basic needs and even extraordinary things to your children, that is loving, and yet you are flying from one conference. For those of us who are working, and those of us who are also offering even the same help that we are offering. So you may find that these children, they suffer to what I call the love deficiency syndrome. And this is a syndrome where each one of us, needs to feel that we are loved, and not only just to be seen to be loved, but to ensure that there's somebody who cares for us. That this child may consider this person to say, I have a social bond with my mother, I have a social bond with my father. And so when this child start growing up, and I think most of parents, they haven't noticed this, because some of the people, they have been asking us some questions when they see a toddler, a 5-year-old child getting depressed, and said, Nanga, how is this child that doesn't pay even bills? How does this child who doesn't pay bills, suffer from, a depression? And yet, what is causing the trigger factor that is causing is that this child lacks, the parental love. And so this child has to find a parental love elsewhere. And in the process of trying to find elsewhere, and they're disoriented because they do not understand most of other things. And because they feel that they need to be associated, as they see other parents, other children rather, they are with the father, their father and their mother, and then they're asking themselves, why is dad not at home with me? And sometimes we even miss special days for our children because you are ever busy, with work. It's a birthday for your child and you are away. So the memories that are being created are created in absence of the key figures. And so when they grow, these children, to early teens, when they reach 14 years and some as early as 12 years, they start realizing to say, does this child miss? 2 weeks or so, there's one child that the mother would come and leave her at church. But when getting back to church, this child, she doesn't have, the mother would, for some reason, go to another important, thing. And so for almost 2 to 3 times, so we have to ask, where is your mom? And something that she said was really very touching to me. She says, look, we're about 4 or 5 of us. Okay, she's a second born. Mom doesn't love me because she comes and leaves me at church. She doesn't want to pick me here, and she only just takes me to my grandmother. And my grandmother treats me like a baby. Okay, me, I'm now a grown up, and this is a 12-year-old, a girl. The mother just leaves the child, and she attends to other, responsible things, and tell just others, oh, my child, take this child to my mother, to take care of her. As a mother, you would really want to have your grandchildren, but however, the attachment to this child and the mother is not there. And so you see that this child, when she starts reaching 14 years in their early teens, out of frustration, because that's a beginning point of everything. Frustration is just simply a blocked desire. It's one of the psychological, disorder that begins, and many of us do not actually realize. We don't even put it to be part of those. And one of also disorder that you're going to see, it is fuming, okay, or to get angry. So you get angry at something. In this case, you're getting angry because your parents are not there. And so these children, they start finding associations. As they are trying to talk to peers, they will meet also another, a child who, in this case, this child is coming from a single, parent household, okay, where this child doesn't know the father, for others could have died, the parents could have died. Some, the mother just told her, says, we don't know where your father is, because the father could have rejected this child, and so the mother is raising this child. Okay, so she does, even this child also doesn't have a father figure who is very critical in the early stage of this child. And so when these children meet, the one has got parents, the other one has got a single parent. Other children that we have discovered, they are coming from child-headed homes. They are the parents themselves. Okay, and so they have to fight. It's a survival of the fittest. They depend on neighbors for them to feed themselves. So others, out of fatigue, out of also not understanding why life is in that way, they start resorting to drugs. They start resorting to beer drinking and many all these other vices. Or it's because there's something at the family level that has broken. Okay, and no one is fixing it. We have seen also at family level where we have seen that alcohol intake, now we have brought bars in our homes, okay, where we see women are trying to outsmart men in as far as drinking is concerned. And at the bottom of it, in my interaction, I discovered that there are very few who drink because they love, drinking. Majority who drink, they are having a problem that they are finding difficult to solve. So you have got the children who abuse drugs, you have got parents who abuse drugs, and so that's why you find that drugs are readily available. And there is also improvisions of drugs, just someone to ensure that they are high. So they make sort of many things. Whilst on the other hand, those that seems now to be out of hand, we have seen that we have now even eventually named them to be junks. Okay, well-known junks who have also come, and yet others, they are suffering silently. Okay, others have just come out and says, well, look, us will be called junks. And places, for example, in one of our compounds, Chainda compounds, I stayed in that during my bachelor's time. It was a very peaceful, one of those peaceful, place that you can live in. But today, it is one of those where you find young people as young as 12 years who are beating. One time, someone from Zambia Air Force was beaten. This is a soldier, beaten by the young boys from 14 to 16 years, those that are in the early and late adolescence. What is the cause? When you find out deeper, you find that there's something that is not happening at a family level because we have neglected the family, because that's a cornerstone. And so this family who have not been attended to will feel not loved. They try to seek love in a wrong way and in a wrong place. For those that are coming from the affluent, families, because of the absent, parents, they also have got ready available access to drugs. They have got money, so they are the ones who bring in these drugs. They can order crates of beer. They can order all kind of things, and all they need is company. So they team up with those from poor families, and the common goal is for them just to find where they can sit and pour out their sorrows. As they do so, they do so wrongly. And that's why at the end of the day, we are seeing that among the adolescents and those from 14 to 24 are the most highly affected, group. And this is the same group, when also those that are in the HIV space, they come from the Ministry of Health, give us the prevalence rate and even the new infections that we are recording. You will see that this is the same age group again, which is reported, to have these sexual infections. It's the same, troubled, age group that you go into schools, those that are missing schools and suffer from bullying and the like. It is the same age group because these are the same people who are coming from these families, and they go into a society. They come into schools, and these are them who are also being abused by the elderly, also parents who themselves also have failed as to dealing with the same problem that you're talking about. They are now become alcoholics, and when we come to our facilities, like Chinama facilities, you discover that the highest number, the highest number of admissions, it's drug and alcohol, abuse. So are many other, facilities that we refer to, such kind of things, even those that we cancel, in our counseling sessions, it is the same, age group. And what is the source? The source is the family, because the family, there's no one, there's no leadership at the family level. For that one, which is a single-headed, household, the mother, if she's the one heading the what, she chooses also a life of alcohol and drug addiction. And the children are learning also, because these drugs and alcohol are readily available in our shops, they're readily available also in our homes. They are more than water. You find that water, it's very difficult in Zambia to find, but alcohol of all manner, spirits, all kind of brands, you find that we are readily available. So that's also another problem, because if these things that are causing addictions are readily accessible, then you find that the problems we may be going round and round and round, because we'll not cure them, because the source is readily available. Anyone can easily access, walk into a shop, like where I am in Cheston, most of these grocery shops, they have got alcohol, and this is where our children, we send them to buy, bread, we buy all these groceries, because I don't know what's also happening with our local authority. Because what I understand, if you are given a trade shop, a trading, you're not a liquor shop, you're not supposed to stock, alcohol, products. But now we are seeing there's a combination, and as a result of that, we are also seeing our children getting hooked to these drugs and alcohol. And now, when we are where we are here, we seem to be shocked. Earlier this year, there was
Darlington,
a report.
I just want,
Yes.
I just want to bring you back because from my experience, also, as I was saying, was this experience is real. So I was when I was
Mhm.
asking, it's like there are some parents who actually have done everything that they can to make sure that their children are well looked after. Where in your own experience, where have you seen that where such parents who are really trying, okay, they might have missed the boat when it was coming, but they realize that now they need to pay attention to these things that are happening. Which is the best place to take them? And I was also want you to tackle it together with when is the right time to seek professional help, and where can parents start it as they feel stuck? And also, what would the parent look for in a good counselor or a rehabilitation center?
Thank you very much. In fact, the first place, what we have discovered, it is that the parents themselves, they need help. Okay, they are pushing, for help the children, and normally parents, they get frustrated, because when you ask these children, and that's why when we are doing even sessions with parents and children, some children will totally refuse to be in the same sessions with their parents. Why? It is because the parents themselves have become a very bad example. So a child will tell you, so mom, why are you telling me that I shouldn't drink when you are the one who sends me to drink? And this parent will try to cancel with a bottle in her hand. She's drinking. He is drinking. He comes home drunk. And children are seeing this, it's traumatizing them. Okay, because when you are saying, one time I did a demo with my children, I told my wife, says, okay, let's see how the children will react. I don't drink, but I'm going to behave like a drunk, okay, just to do some experiments to see how the children react. And I really did a very good drama, and children were so disappointed. Okay, they were really disappointed, and I knew that they are not going to approve if I'm going to walk into a house in a drunken state. So you can see that even us as parents, there are certain behaviors that our children would not want us to see. It's not enough. That's why I gave those two examples, Doc, that some of us parents, we have got all the money. Okay, we have even bought aeroplanes for our children, but we don't have time. to sit with them. All the children are asking is time, not the money, not the schools, not what we have done for them. And that's why even as we get disappointed, I am buying you everything, and yet you are not. You are also getting to become, an addict. But we are forgetting that the first thing a parent needs to realize that we set a very good example. The children, they understand when we struggle, as even as we understood our parents, their limitations, how much they tried to ensure that they bring food on the table, and why parents also should not seek for solutions that are wrong, because children, they learn by examples. No matter how much I may speak, they're not going to pick, but 75% they'll pick from my action and my lifestyle. So parents, they suffer from silence also, because the first point is that before the parent looks for that child who is addiction, a parent himself or herself should seek for professional help. We are readily available, and there are many safe spaces also that parents, like what you are offering, you are doing a great job. So those are some of the safe spaces or your programs that you are doing. Our programs that we are doing are like now here we are having a holiday, a 4 days holiday. You can have a time, 1 hour, 2 hours, this type of a sessions. You sit at home, you sit, you take even lunch, you talk as parents among yourselves first as parents, so that you can take care of your sanity. If we parents, we can take care of our sanity so that we don't sink, then we're going to take care of our children. Okay, because we suffer
As you
also.
say that,
Uh, uh,
as you say that, Darlington, as you say that, it brings me to what we actually do in class for the family and home spoke of the wheel of life, which actually brought this topic together here.
yeah.
One of the things that is one of the activities that we ask parents, the first homework is to go home and have dinner with the family together. And the parents should sit first and look at their children coming to the table so that they can see. And if they do it so often, they'll be able to see the changes that are happening in their families. And we've gotten a lot of good stories after that. You say, okay, even if there are two people, even if they are not there in the vicinity, even if they are abroad, you can actually, dedicate time to say, I'm going to find out, I'm going to say what I'm doing, and then I'll also ask what the children are doing. And it brings a lot of harmonizing in the home. So these are some of the simple things that we can be able to do to just sit on the table together. But there are a lot of things that we need to do in the background so that we know in which quadrant people are, so that we can create a safe space for us to be able to discuss. But as you say, those ones that are ready to start the journey, we are here to actually offer that, and we would be able to engage. And these are some of the things that probably one of the sessions, um, after listening to this, I say one of the days we should just come and say, like you said, adults also need counseling. Can we counsel ourselves and find out steps what we can follow to start healing, because it's never too late to start something. So I would like to invite those with problem children, and Darlington is going to be here so that we can just start this process, so that we can take out some of the solutions, and also probably seek guidance from those that can create safe places. um, I've been so bothered, ever since this week. I was saying, what is it that I can be able to to find out? And each time that you think about something, when you are ready, the teacher will arrive. And we've got the teachers, we've got the spaces, we've got everything. You know, I've got friends of mine who actually lock up everything in the bedroom because they are, whenever it comes out, whenever they leave a door open, something goes missing. They have got they are buying irons all the time. They are buying kettles. They are buying. It is incredible of how this alcohol and substance abuse is causing so much pain in the thing. We've got a minute to go, so I just want as we the main thing, if this is an introduction, maybe we can come back again and see how we can be able to help one another. But I just want to say, as parents, this is where I believe mindset change is not just helpful, but essential. as parents, guardians, and leaders, we must shift from blame to understanding, because we're always blaming, blaming, blaming. I am not an
Yeah.
outsider. I've been in those places where we're just blaming and blaming, our children or our nieces and nephews. But let us shift from blame to understanding, from denial to acceptance, from fear to intentional engagement, so that we can be able to manage what it is that we want to manage at the end of the day. So we have to build the trust. One of the deepest wounds is a broken family is broken trust, as you said, a Darlington. Children don't feel seen, parents don't feel respected, the home becomes a place of tension and, instead of tenderness that we want to manage. So some of these things what it is that makes us really really get ourselves waked up. And we should actually do the role of the village. The role of the village is where, because we cannot do this alone. The African proverb says, it says it well, that it takes a village to raise a child, but our villages have fallen silent. Our churches, our elders, our aunties may have stopped speaking into family life. And this is why we are here. We want to revive, we want to make sure that what it is that we're doing is what we want to do. So as we end, I just want to urge everyone listening today to just pick up, their own banner, their own challenge, and start engaging, to the things that we want to do. So thank you so much, Darlington. I told you it's 30 minutes is very short with the way you are packed, and
Right.
this
No,
is just create safe
indeed, it's
space.
very short. Uh,
So thank you so much. We are done for today. It's